Let's bring in Kevin Hincks. He's host of Fast Market, of course, back with us. Kev, today you see a little bit of rotation in the market, and given that the Russell's been the leader, sometimes those days are really weak. It hasn't turned out to be that way. Everything's holding in, so it just kind of seems like we shifted some of the momentum into a different part of the market today.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting day, Oliver. I mean, it seems like this is a market that, you know, for the last couple of weeks been so dominated by some of the tech, and tech is still in play today, but it's others. You mentioned industrials, and more importantly, the ground transportation. Industrials having a nice day. Pretty broad rally over industrials, even without the likes of Boeing.
Trucks, rails.
Which is struggling today. So you look across, no Boeing, no Uber, but, you know, ground transportation. What am I talking about? It's you know, Norfolk Southern, it's Union Pacific, it's J.B. Hunt, all higher today, all on price hikes and new notes by firms. So they're all those three having a good day, seem to be dominating that. You know, the industrial's a big space in the S&P 500, and there's a section called ground transportation that really is showing strength today, and those three stocks are in that group. Oliver, showing some real strength today. Then you've got the interesting story coming out of semis, right? With NVIDIA higher, Western Digital higher, but AMD on a downgrade lower today. So that's an interesting, because most people, and we talk about it on the air a lot here, they see AMD as the real, serious, most powerful competitor to NVIDIA. So for those stocks going in two different directions, that's some interesting price action to start the day. But all things considered, what you said to start your presentation, Oliver, is that with the back-ended data and good earnings coming out throughout the week, but everything a little later in the week, we're drifting. We're starting this week similar to the way we finished last week, with yields that were starting to creep a little higher, now down. You mentioned the dollar unchanged, and this is a market just looking for the next inertia on which way it goes. So right now we wait for some stronger data points to come in, either from earnings or from economic data, Oliver.
Yeah, it's interesting that some of the volatility in chips today has been divided. AMD, though, firming up, right? I mean, it was down like 6% earlier, so it's going to take more than a couple notes. I thought the note was interesting, though, because it did talk about that phrase a lot of folks go to when the market starts really ripping, irrational exuberance. And, you know, we kind of have been wondering, all right, how much are all these different companies really going to get the same lift off? Like today, all the love for Western Digital. I mean, kind of a more classic cyclical chip, not something that you think is really like breakthrough, groundbreaking technology typically, but you are seeing quite a bit of love across the board now. So I can kind of see where this analyst gets the exuberance part from.
Yeah, the Northland note on AMD actually pulled out the Alan Greenspan irrational exuberance. They did talk about, you know, the things that have been fueling chips up till now, the ChatGPT movement, the average selling price increasing, double ordering Chinese government and Chinese economy stockpiling chips. May have pulled some of that forward, that demand, and they think like you're starting to hear that a lot. Why? Because valuations have gotten a little pricey here, and the S&P 500, a couple hesitant downgrades. You know, just taking some companies off that top perform list because of price action. You see it in Home Depot and Lowe's. Another example of that today, where they still like the stocks, but they're acknowledging how far some of these stocks have run, Oliver.
All right, yeah. It's definitely going to draw some attention, draw some profit takers. You know, most of these analysts were bullish on these stocks, and so they're kind of just saying take profit, basically. So I don't really see it as much of a bear case for now, but I guess the idea is take some money, plug it elsewhere, like some good old trucks and rails today. All right. That works, I guess. Appreciate it, Kevin Hincks. Thanks, sir. Host of Fast Market.